What if AI isn't stealing your job? Because what I'm going to show you is how a fast intern can take boring tasks so you keep the human parts. Stay with me to see it. If you have ever thought AI is going to steal my job, spy on me, and maybe turn into Terminator, you are not crazy. That is literally what a lot of headlines and movie trailers want you to feel: scared, confused, and a little bit helpless. But here is the deal. The reality of AI right now is way less dramatic and honestly, way more boring and useful than the clickbait makes it sound. No killer robots marching down your street. Mostly just websites and apps that help you write emails, summarize documents, brainstorm ideas, or automate a few annoying tasks you do not want to do. In the next few minutes, you will discover why AI is not a robot brain taking over the world, what is really going on with AI in jobs, why you do not need to be some tech genius to use it, and how you can try AI in a safe, low-pressure way without feeling dumb or doing anything shady. We are going to keep it simple, no fancy jargon, and by the end, AI should feel more like a handy power tool in your toolbox and less like a horror movie villain waiting outside your window. All right, let us start by getting one thing clear. This video is not about hyping AI as magic, and it is not about telling you to ignore your instincts either. It is about turning the volume down on the fear so you can see what is actually in front of you. So, what is AI really, in plain language? Think of AI as super fast pattern matching software that learned from a huge number of examples. That is it. It is not waking up at night plotting against you. If you have used autocomplete on your phone, where it suggests the next word in a text, you already get the basic idea. Modern AI tools are like autocomplete dialed up to a ridiculous level. They have seen so many examples. They can guess pretty convincing answers to a lot of questions, and they can do it very quickly. For most people right now, AI looks like a website where you type something like, write a friendly email to my landlord asking to fix the leaky sink, and it gives you a draft. Or summarize this long, boring PDF in 5 bullet points, or give me 3 ideas for Instagram captions for my business. That is it. No glowing red robot eyes, no metal skeleton standing in your kitchen, and you are not alone if this still feels uneasy. According to a 2023 survey from Pew Research Center, around half of Americans say they feel more concerned than excited about AI. So if your reaction has been, this stuff freaks me out, that is totally normal. The fear is common. The problem is, most of that fear is based on worst-case headlines, not on how people actually use AI today. So I want you to try a different frame. Instead of thinking of AI as a character, like an evil genius or a perfect hero, think of it as a tool. A very powerful and sometimes glitchy tool, sure, but still a tool. A hammer does not care what you build with it. AI does not care either. People decide how to use it. Another way to think about it is like a calculator for words and ideas. A calculator does not understand math the way you do. It just follows patterns it was built for. AI does something similar with language, images, and other data. It looks impressive, but under the hood, it is still just pattern matching, following rules and probabilities. In the rest of this video, we are going to break down the biggest myths one by one. We will talk about why AI is not a magic robot brain, what it really means for jobs, why you do not need to be super technical to get value from it, and how to use it without losing your common sense. What tools like ChatGPT, Claude, Midjourney, and all of these are really doing is a lot more boring and a lot more understandable. Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, has even described GPT-4 as basically a very good autocomplete. I love that description because it strips away the magic. It reminds you this thing is not alive. It is just guessing the next likely bit of text again and again, ridiculously fast. So when you ask an AI, write a kind email to my landlord about fixing the shower, it is not sitting there thinking, how do I feel about this situation? It is scanning patterns it has learned from millions of emails and going, cool, when humans write polite emails, they usually start like this, then say this, then end like this, and it fills in the blanks. Same with images. If you say, draw a cat wearing sunglasses on a surfboard, it is not imagining a cat having the time of its life on vacation. It is combining patterns of cats, sunglasses, and surfboards it has seen in its training data and remixing them into something new. Here is a super simple way to think about it. AI is a prediction machine, not a feeling machine. It does not understand or want anything. It does not wake up in the morning. It does not get bored. It does not secretly hate you. If you hear terms like neural network or large language model, that can sound very brain-like. In practice, those are just fancy names for types of pattern spotting programs. They take inputs, run them through a lot of math, and spit out an output that matches patterns they have seen before. To make this concrete, imagine you open a chatbot and type, "Give me 3 dinner ideas using chicken and rice," and make them quick for weeknights. The AI might respond with something like 1. Chicken fried rice, 2. Lemon garlic chicken and rice bowls, 3. 1 pan-baked chicken and rice with vegetables. That feels smart, right? But under the hood, it is not planning your health goals or judging your cooking skills. It is simply predicting common meals that humans talk about when they mention chicken, rice, and quick dinners. So now that we have cleared up the whole magic robot brain idea, let us talk about the fear that hits closest to home for most people: jobs. A lot of people think, cool, AI can write emails and answer questions. That means it is coming for my paycheck next. If that is you, that fear is totally understandable. You are not being dramatic, you are just reading the headlines. Here is the big idea that helps this make sense. There is a huge difference between a job and the tasks inside that job. AI is very good at specific tasks, especially repetitive or text-heavy ones. But most real-world jobs are a mix of many different tasks, plus human stuff like judgment, trust, and social skills. Take banking as an example. When ATMs showed up, everyone thought, well, that is it, no more bank tellers. What actually happened was different. Economists at the Federal Reserve have pointed out that the number of bank branches grew for decades after ATMs arrived, and banks used tellers more for customer service and complex stuff, not simple cash withdrawals. The tasks changed, the whole job did not vanish. Same story with spreadsheets. When tools like Excel came in, accountants did not disappear. They stopped spending hours crunching numbers by hand and started spending more time analyzing, advising, and planning. The boring part got automated. The higher value part grew. AI is lining up to be that kind of tool. According to the World Economic Forum's Future of Jobs report, automation and AI could displace about 85 million jobs in the next few years, but also create roughly 97 million new roles that are better adapted to this new way of working. So what does that look like for you, day to day? If you work in an office, AI might help you draft emails, summarize long reports, or turn messy meeting notes into clear action points, but you still decide what to send, how to phrase sensitive topics, and which ideas actually matter for your company or your clients. If you are a student or a freelancer, AI can help outline an essay, propose a project structure, or brainstorm 5 ways to pitch your services. You still bring your taste, your story, and your judgment about what fits your audience. Even in retail or hospitality, AI might help with inventory predictions or scheduling. But people still want a human to greet them, handle problems, and make the experience feel good. No chatbot can look a frustrated customer in the eye and genuinely empathize. A helpful way to think about it is this: AI is a coworker, not a clone. It is like having a super fast assistant for the repetitive parts while you focus on the parts that need common sense, emotional intelligence, and ethics. Here is the good news, and this is the part you can control. People who learn how to use AI as a tool tend to become more valuable, not less. You become the person who can get more done faster and who understands how to combine human judgment with machine help. So instead of asking, will AI take my job? A better question is, how can I let AI take the boring parts of my job so I can do the interesting parts better? Let me just say this right up front. If you can open a browser, type in a search bar, and send a text message, you already have the skills you need to start using AI. That is not an exaggeration. Most modern AI tools are literally just websites or apps with a box that says something like, ask me anything or type your message. That is it. No coding, no installing complicated software, no secret hacker tricks. Most people are already walking around with a supercomputer in their pocket, using apps, scrolling social media, sending photos, and they still say, I am not techie. You might be a lot more capable than your brain gives you credit for. Here is the deal. AI tools are basically like texting a super helpful friend who happens to be very fast at reading and writing. The messages you send it are called prompts, but that is just a fancy word for instructions in normal language. So let me show you what that actually looks like in practice, step by step, with no jargon. You open an AI chat tool in your browser. You see the empty box at the bottom, and instead of freezing and thinking, I do not know what to type, you treat it like a conversation. You could type something like, explain what a mortgage is like, I am 12. Keep it short and simple. Or turn this messy paragraph into a clear, polite email to my boss. Do not sound robotic. Then you paste your paragraph, or maybe plan a super simple 3-day meal plan for a busy person who hates cooking and does not want to wash lots of dishes. You hit enter, and it replies in plain English. If you do not like the answer, you do the same thing you do with a friend in text. You follow up. Make it even simpler. Even AI researchers do not always know the perfect prompt. They experiment too. Steve Jobs once said, most people never pick up the phone and call. Most people never ask. His point was that asking is the superpower. With AI, it is the same. The people who get the most out of it are not the most technical. They are the ones who are willing to ask, to try, and to play. So here is a tiny challenge you can actually do today. Pick one small, low-pressure thing in your life that you usually find annoying or boring. Maybe writing an email, maybe summarizing a long article, maybe planning meals or a workout. Open an AI chat and literally type, help me with this. Then describe the problem like you would to a friend. Say what you are trying to do, what you find hard, and what good would look like for you. There is no wrong way to try it. You are not going to break anything. You can always close the tab if you do not like it. Remember, AI is not reserved for coders, engineers, or genius people. It is built for normal humans who type normal sentences. If you can Google, you can use this. And the more you treat it like a conversation, not a test, the faster it starts feeling natural. So after seeing how simple and powerful these tools can be in the last chapter, there is one really important catch we need to talk about. A lot of people go from, I am scared of AI, straight to AI is basically an oracle that knows everything. And that second belief is just as dangerous as the first. Here is the myth. If the AI says it, it must be true. It sounds smart, it writes in full sentences, it never hesitates, so people assume it cannot be wrong. In reality, AI can be confidently wrong. It will say nonsense with the same calm voice it uses for real facts. Let us make this concrete. Imagine you ask an AI, who won the World Cup last year? Most of the time, it will nail it. But if its training data stops before that event, it might just guess. It will not say, I do not know. It will say something that sounds right, even if it is totally made up. This is what people call a hallucination. The model is not seeing the future or secretly browsing the universe. It is just predicting what words usually come next in similar sentences it has seen before. So when you use AI, keep yourself in the driver's seat. Pause before you trust numbers or dates. Double-check important facts with a search engine or an official website. Be extra careful with sensitive stuff like health, money, legal issues, or breaking news. For example, if AI gives you a health tip, use it as a starting point to ask your doctor better questions, not as a substitute for a doctor. If it summarizes an article for you, skim the original if it really matters. If it tells you a statistic, ask it for the source, then go look up that source yourself. Instead of just trusting the number, you can even build a little habit. Anytime the answer really matters in real life, pause, copy the key claim, and check it in another tab. It takes a few extra seconds, and it can save you from some very bad decisions. So we just talked about how AI is not always right, and you still need your own brain. That naturally leads to this next worry a lot of people have. If I use AI, am I basically cheating, and is it going to drain all the creativity out of what I do? Let us be real, this fear makes sense. If you imagine creativity as sitting alone in a cabin, suffering over a blank page, then anything that makes it easier feels like you are breaking the rules. Here is how I like to think about it. AI is not the artist. It is more like a super fast brainstorming buddy. It throws out a bunch of ideas, but it does not know which ones are good or which ones sound like you. That part is still your job. In fact, this is already how a lot of creative people are using it. You might open a chatbot and type, give me 10 fun video ideas for my cooking TikTok about cheap meals. Now you have a list. Maybe 8 of them are boring and 2 of them are actually interesting. You pick one, tweak it, and film it in your own style. The creativity is in what you choose, how you change it, and how you deliver it. Or you have a story idea, but you are stuck on the ending. You can say, here is my short story idea. Give me 3 possible endings with different moods. You read them, steal one little twist from the first, a line of dialogue from the second, and then rewrite the whole thing in your own words. Again, You are the director, and AI is like a writer's room you can turn on and off. Same thing with writing at work. Maybe you write a rough, messy email in your own words and ask AI. Rewrite this to sound more professional, but keep the same meaning. It is still your message. You just outsourced the polishing, the same way you might ask a friend who is good with words to look it over. Now, about the cheating part, because this is important. In school, and in some jobs, there are very specific rules. If your teacher says no AI on this assignment, then yeah, using AI is cheating. That is not an AI problem. That is an honesty problem. On the flip side, some teachers and companies are saying, you can use AI, but you must say where and how you used it. In that case, hiding it would be cheating, and being open about it is just working with a tool. Let us land this whole series in a peaceful place. After all, it is all about going from fear to control. So what does a healthy relationship with AI actually look like day to day? First, the mindset. Think curious, not terrified. Instead of AI is coming for me, try AI is another tool I can learn slowly on my terms. Second, set your own boundaries. Maybe you decide I will use AI to brainstorm ideas and draft rough emails, but I will always fact check anything that sounds important, and I will always put things in my own words. Third, start laughably small. Pick one AI tool, ideally a free chatbot you have heard of. Give yourself one tiny low-stakes task, something like, help me write a polite email to my landlord, or plan 3 super simple dinners this week, or rewrite this text in a friendlier tone. Nothing life-changing, nothing that could hurt you if it is wrong. Then, after you use it, pause for 30 seconds and ask 3 questions. 1, what did this actually help me with? 2, what did it get wrong or weird? 3, how would I tweak my prompt next time? That little reflection is how you quietly move from fear to control. So, your invitation from here is simple. Before today ends, try one tiny thing with AI. One tool, one small task. Then come back and tell me in the comments what myth you used to believe and what actually happened when you tried it. We walked through jobs versus tasks, why you don't need to be techie, why AI can still be confidently wrong, and how it can boost your creativity instead of killing it as long as you're honest about how you use it. The real win is this: you stay in control. If this helped you make sense of where AI is actually going, do 2 things. Hit subscribe so you don't miss the next episode, and drop your questions in the comments. We'll see you next time.